Previously on Snails with No Shells.
So, right, we encourage little boys, we encourage men to be decisive, to be go getters, to stand up and articulate and advocate for yourself. We don't encourage society. I do, but society sometimes we don't encourage women, or when a woman exhibits those things, right, she gets the side eye.
Mm,
And men are encouraged and celebrated, but women less so. She's looked at, oh, you may be competent, but you're not likable. Men can do the same thing. He's competent and likable, but she's competent but not likable. She's hard, or we get told we're too nasty, we're too negative. So
mm.
there's that double standard.
Are you ready to be in the spotlight? Are you ready to share your story with the world? Well, Snails with No Shells is where you need to be. Available on all digital platforms, Facebook, and YouTube. Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. Where did we go wrong? We were doing so
And we really are walking this fine line, and we each learn who we are so that we can be authentic. And then we still have the pay grade difference. Men a lot of times still have the opportunity and ability to earn more for a position. A woman with the same credentials, etc., may be offered less. So it's real. Even in 2022, there are still things, challenges, and hurdles that women
wrong.
face in the workplace, career advancement, and things like that.
Really? We still there.
hmm hmm And the other thing, and this is what I've been talking a lot about this year, is this loneliness and isolation. It's not so much that we may always be lonely, but we definitely tend to be isolated.
Okay.
Many times I have been, and I am the only female physician.
Mm-hmm.
Many times I have been the only individual of color
Mm-hmm.
in the environment. And so for women, now women, we tend to be nurturing, right? And we look out for people. A lot of times we definitely look out for other women.
Yes.
It's not always easy, honestly, to be the woman in senior leadership position. And as a physician, I'm
Mm.
always in that senior leadership role. I may
Right.
not be like the department chair, but as a physician, that's a senior leadership role. And the way other women on the team interact,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy. The office manager, the charge nurse, the individual who's working the front desk. And so for each of us, we have to find that connection and find that way to interact with them. And sometimes it's not easy. Like, if we do it this way, we're jammed. If we do it that way, we're jammed. We are, because two personalities, some people will be very likable, right? Some women will just be very likable. You hit it off, it's great, and they're just so pleasant to work with.
Right.
Sometimes people, just by nature of their personality, it's not as easy to, or they may feel as though we aren't, right? Because again, when
Right.
I'm working, I'm working. I mean, I'm one of the nicer, ones, but it's like, when I'm working, I'm working. I take what I do very seriously.
Mhm.
So, people have to recognize and respect my role. I'm not, especially as a doctor, I'm like, I'm not the medical student. I'm not the nurse.
Right.
I'm
Mm.
not, I'm not the nurse. And I love the nurses, but it's like I'm the physician. And there's
Right.
certain things and there's certain responsibilities that go with that. So sometimes men and women, that's not easy for them to navigate. It
Mm.
Yeah, it can be interesting.
Wow. That's very interesting. I'm learning a lot today. I
Mhm.
am. Wow. Wow. And so I see that you talk about stress, and I'm thinking like that you probably been in some very stressful situations. I'm a mental health advocate. And I'm like mental health Mondays. That's my thing, and I'm just the simple things. Make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're eating. Make sure you're taking breaks, because sometimes those little simple things could just be off. That could have us, off kilter. Just the little simple things. Making sure you take those breaks and creating those boundaries, all that good stuff. And
Mhm.
so stress, I know, is a part of mental health as well. And so let's talk about stress. What is stress?
Yeah, stress is something that we all need to have these conversations about multiple times a year. So kudos for you to, as a mental health advocate, and like you say, managing and helping individuals to manage stress, so key. Stress is our body's response to any stressor. Stressor can be positive, right? A new job,
Mhm.
remodeling a home, looking for a new home, new relationship. So
Mhm.
anything that requires, especially more of our time, our attention, and our energy, these are stressors. Now we don't often hear the term stressors; we just hear stress, right? But a
Right.
stressor can be positive, and there are those. And we think about eustress because when we're experiencing some stress, that means our body is this heightened awareness, right? You think about I'm preparing for an exam. I still have to do exams. I'm like, okay, I'm
Right.
studying, right? And so I'm like, okay, I'm going here, to take this exam every couple of years. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm on my game. So my heart rate may be up a little bit, not anything alarming, but I'm alert and I'm with that. So that's eustress, and eustress can actually get us to perform at a slightly higher level. Think about the athletes, right? They're in the gym doing their thing and they're getting on there and they're doing the layups and doing the drills. So that's a good thing. But stress can also be that type of stress where it's the negative stressor, where
Mhm.
it may be the problem on the job. It may be, COVID with the layoff. It may be, family
Yes.
members, friends who are ill. Someone has a car to break down. Those are things that tap into our energy, our time, and our attention in a different way. And we still have that response, but it's not that, yeah, I'm showing up to be alert. It's like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do with this? What are my next steps? So we all are gonna have stressors. If anybody has, you commute on your job, right? If you just have a 10 or 15 minute commute, even if it's stop and go traffic, it's like I'll be out of my car in 15, 20 minutes. It's okay. But some
Right.
people have to drive a distance when it's really for a longer period of time. Like, oh, looking next, in the car, how come they aren't going there? You didn't put your signal on to get over. And some people have that every day, every day,
Right.
4 or 5 days a week. So that stress, if it's something that's there just for a short period of time, we feel it. Maybe whatever's causing the stress ends. But sometimes we have to be proactive. We actually have to do something in order to respond to it in a different way. But then sometimes we have those chronic stressors, things that we can't change.
Mhm.
I've had family members who are ill. My aunt, my mother's sister, was ill with cancer. We that was a stressful time for our family. We couldn't change that she had it, but as we were walking that journey with her, chemo and some other things,
Mhm.
that required more time and energy for our family, and that was more than a couple of months. So chronic
Right.
stress is important just as short term stress is
Right.
present.
Right. Yeah, I like that's awesome. And we do some of those things. We kind of just we don't even equate that with
Mhm.
being something stressful. Just like the example you use for traffic. And and especially in Georgia, I'm in Atlanta.
Ooh.
It takes 40. It's in like 45 minutes to an hour to get everywhere. If, especially I'm in the suburbs, so it takes 45 minutes, and the traffic on 285 is terrible. You know what I'm saying? And so I can see that being stressful, sitting in that traffic, and then now you go to work and now you have
Mhm.
this attitude, you stressed out, you bring that stressful attitude to work,
Yeah.
and then you got to work with all these people, and then you as the empowerment coach,
Mhm.
can you identify these things like just with dealing with I just say your coworkers, can you
Okay.
identify those certain things?
So sometimes people can be irritable. I think a lot of people have a routine, whether we realize it or not. We have a routine. So especially we go to the job, right? You go in, if people still working in the office, you go your elevator steps, what have you. You put your keys down, your purse. You just have a routine that you do, and you go in and you turn your computer on. Well, a lot of people, and I myself is like when I go into my office, I need at least 5 minutes. I want at least 5 minutes. I need to make my shift from getting out of my car to
Right.
getting in and getting my day set up. I really don't, other than good morning or hi, I don't want anybody to bring me anything within the first 5 minutes. I literally, because I go from, okay, I'm Angela outside, but when I get to the office, I'm Dr. Angela. That's a totally different mindset for me.
Yes.
So I physically, especially when I get in and I put this on a white coat, then I'm there, I'm present. But I don't want anything like, give me that time to shift, especially if it's something that needs, like, it's like kind of an urgency, this patience that this didn't happen and so on and so forth. Okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. So when we are in tune with each other and when we are in tune with our coworkers,
Yes.
really everybody should give each other at least that 5 or 10 minutes, unless it's something that needs to be addressed. Because if we don't, and that person is either coming off of the this really aggressive rush hour traffic or you didn't get your coffee,
Mhm.
what have you, then you go in and say, hey, Sally was so and so. And Sally's like, what? I need my
Right.
coffee. Sally hasn't had time to adjust. And then if you haven't had your shift, then you like, then you go to the other person. Well, Jane, did you just say, I just went in there to tell Sally about the message and she snapped at me. Who does she think she is? Well, I don't need to do that. And I
Right.
see what happened. I mean, literally, it's like, wait a minute, let's just everybody pump the brake. Everybody just needs their 5 or 10 minutes, and then let's try this again. So we need to be aware of us, but then also we want to be considerate and aware of other people in the office. And it goes a long way in terms of helping to promote a really nice environment and culture in the office as well.
Yes, I love that. And that's those boundaries. That's that like you said, you take your 5 minutes. So that's some very good advice. Just that little bit. Take
Mm-hmm.
your 5 minutes that you when you get to work, take your minutes to get it together. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. And those the simple things can make a better day, right? For everybody. I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
love
Mm-hmm.
that.
Because you think about, we're there with people anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a day, a
Right,
couple of days a week, and we have to we're doing life together. And depending
right,
on what your job is, if you're working in a florist, that's probably a lot more fun and probably laid back, unless you're dealing with somebody's wedding or funeral, right? Those are going to be more, times of higher intensity. But nature of healthcare,
right,
you
right,
know there
right,
are things that go along with that. Most of the time, people, even if they're ill, they're not critically ill in the office. We're not running emergencies every day in the office. But there are
right.
those times when we do, or things have not gone. The medication that we've called in is on back order, or such and such. And so we're navigating, well, where can we refer this patient here to get the medication until it's back in. So
Okay.
it can be a little intense.
Yeah, so really, Dr. Angela, you wear a lot of hats. You
Mhm.
you sound like you said empowerment coach, and we're gonna get to this next piece too, the keynote speaker. But it sound like you a therapist, a counselor, a mom, a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like it sound like you wear a lot of hats. It's a lot of
Mhm.
responsibility that comes with being a doctor. Wow.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
So you definitely need to make sure that you are aware of your mental health, like every day. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow.
Mhm.
I love this. I love this. So let's get into your speak. When did you start speaking? When did you become a keynote speaker?
Well, as a physician, I've been speaking for years on different. It was more so medical, right? So it was all
Right.
about the medical and talking about that. That's fun, but it's like it's information. You can only make the Krebs cycle. You can only make certain stuff so exciting. But for a number of years, as a specialist, I delivered a couple of talks, presentations there, and that was pretty cool in terms of colleagues. And so as I've been incorporating more of the personal development outside of medicine, then that's when, really focusing on the empowerment and the workplace. Like I said, it's always been a part of what I've done, but putting, like I said, having more of a separation and really amplifying and elevating the workplace
Mhm.
challenges and helping professional women in terms of that professional development. So it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Love it. And I want to show everybody the your book again, just in case
Okay.
they're just now tuning in. And I still want you to, talk about it just a little bit more, just in case they're coming in a little late.
Sure.
This
Okay.
is important. This is very important. This is
Okay.
picture. You're great. Like I love the beautiful cover, beautiful smile. All that personality is right there. And that's how she really is, y'all. Very, very, very bubbly. I love it. Picture your great life, 21 principles. And maybe we can go over a couple of the principles and reflections. That
Sure.
would
Yeah.
okay.
So I talked about the vision. That was the inspiration and principles and reflections. Principles because we all need to have things that help us to live by. Sometimes we call them principles. Part of what I talk about in my family too. We call them life lessons. What are the things you use to guide you? What is your north star? And for those people of faith, we know that the Bible is the number one. And then we have principles, just like we have laws, things that we say, okay, how do we explain who I am? How do we explain life? How do I know how to act in this situation? So with this particular book, I have assembled 21 principles that talk about things like love. Love is one of the greatest powers. It talks about abundance. And these are principles that can help us understand our purpose, because for all of us, it's purpose, why we are created, also, how do we explain the world? And then to give those principles, how do I live my life? Because we all are created for greatness. We are
Mhm.
created to do great works, and we're created to live a great life. That's part of our destiny. Now,
Right.
it's possible for all of us, but so many people, for different reasons, multiple reasons, are living below what's possible for them. We all have to be taught. It's not, we don't come out of, mama, and then we're in a crib and go, oh, we know everything that there is. So in the book, I have 21, and each page has one principle and then one reflection. And the goal is, and there's space to write, because
Okay.
many times writing helps us to learn that more. When we can read it, yeah, we learn a little bit. When we hear it, that's a little bit more. When we write it, but then when we teach it or explain it to someone else, these are all things that help us to get that information in and retain it even more. So, some of the principles are, for example, number one is live with a spiritual consciousness. Number eight is think big. Number 14 is make gratitude a daily habit. And then on the page, there's the principle, like principle number one, live with a spiritual consciousness. There's space to write. And then there is the reflection, and there's also space to write there. And this is an ebook. So,
Yes.
now a lot of people, we're on our devices, our phones, our tablets. And the way we like to do print will vary for everybody. So,
Right.
my inspiration was make this an ebook and a PDF for those individuals who may want this just as an electronic version. They can pull it up on their tablet, pull it up on a computer, look through it, and it may just be one that they look and read and reflect. But for those individuals who still like pen and paper, like I do, then
Yes.
each individual has the opportunity. You can print whatever pages you want. They may read it and go, you know what, I like this, but right now I don't want all of the pages. Maybe I'm really looking at, like, for example, let me go to the one about Think Big, number 8. You may say, wow, that one really resonates with me. So I'm going to print that one, and I will print that and put it on my door or on my office. And then you can pick and choose. And then the second part of that has the information about the creative visualization, the picturing, how you can actually get with your that vision for your life. So for let me have some photographs here. For number 8, which
Mm-hmm.
is think big. The principle is think big, and the reflection is dreams are defined by the size of the imagination.
Okay.
So, you can read it, you may
Mm-hmm.
think on it. I spent a lot of time as a young person daydreaming, what we now call imagination. My parents encouraged that. That's why I was able to stay with my dreams and see my
Right.
dreams come true. So people can sit down with it, write it. What is my dream? Relate to a career, relationship, a house, maybe it's travel, and record this and write it. And the other thing is, because you can print it out, someone can print it and go, all right, man, I want 3 pages of this principle number 8. Maybe I want one for each dream. Maybe they say, this year I'm working on 3 big dreams. So that may say, I want to print
Mhm.
one for my job. I want to print one for my finances. I want to print
Yes.
one for my health. And you can use this in a way that's going to be most user friendly for you. So lots of space to write. And like I say, to have fun with it.
Yes. Yes. Say, write the vision, make it plain.
Yes.
Yes, and I do love that you saying you helping us, you know, use that imagination again, because a lot of us as adults have just we don't use our imagination anymore. We're like, I'm not a kid anymore, and it's like, no, bring the child out. This does help you dream. That's what kids do. You dream, they help you dream. We're like, no, I'm not a kid. I'm too old for that. We've lost that. I like to call it that magic. Like you said, when you're a child, you have this imagination. You can do any and everything you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mm-hmm.
lose it along the way. Life experiences, we grow up, we have children, whatever. But I believe that inner child needs to come out and be free.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that. I love the idea of your book. I do love that. And where can they find your book?
It is available on the website. So, and I see it scrolling across here, livegreatlives.com. And then there is a click, and you just go right there and click it. It's an electronic download. And so you go through that prompt, and it'll be downloaded there. I also think on the website, may even have like a free offer, maybe like just a video and something else there. Yep. But the website, livegreatlives.com.
Awesome. And if we like a little bit of free, I love
Yes.
it. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break and give a shout out to our sponsor of this episode of Snails with No Shells, and then we'll come with some closing remarks. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
interpretation. Get your copy today.
Awesome, awesome. Marisa Blordern, yes, the owner of Own It Magazine. Yes,
Mm.
yes, Marisa. Yes, we love you and thank you for being the sponsor of today's show. And
Yeah.
I am a contributing writer to the Own It Magazine. So shout out to Own It Magazine.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And thank you again, Marisa, for introducing me to Dr. Angela Harden. This has been an amazing time. I love your energy. It's just good stuff. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I saw that. Yep. Shout out to Marisa because she definitely made that connection for us. So yes.
Yes. And I know this will not be the last time that I see you. I do know that.
Yep. Look forward to it. Thanks, Queen.
Yes,
Thanks, Queen.
yes.
Yes.
And so before I do want to one more time just show everybody the book that we've been talking about, the ebook that you have available. Picture Your Great Life, 21 Principles and 21 Reflections for Great Living. I love that. I love that. Beautiful. All right, y'all, get your copy. Get
Yes.
your copy. Yes. Awesome. Okay, so Dr. Angela, do you have any maybe a nugget, some closing words, or a thought of a quote or anything that you would like to leave with the audience?
Yes, I would like to let them know that as an empowerment coach and the founder of Live Great Lives Empowerment Coaching, we are all about helping professional women. Again, that's my jam, that's my purpose. Because as I mentioned before, there are some specific challenges related to the workplace that we face. And so our mission is to empower women and to help them know that you can live a great life. You can have both professional and personal fulfillment, live that great life without sacrificing family, freedom, or wellness. I was had my baby, my first woman. I was, into medical school, so I've been a homemaker, this entire time. And there's some things that are available that can do that. Society will tell us that we shouldn't do this, that we can't. We have these stereotypes, and we have a lot of things that we may face. But I'm here to say that you can do it. You can have work-life balance. I am enjoying work-life balance, and you can do it as a well woman. You really can. So
Yes, I
excited.
love that. It's so inspiring. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Okay, and so let us know where we can find you. I have a thing scrolling ticker across the bottom, but this is going to be on audio too. So
Okay.
just let us know where we can find you.
Sure. So the website for the company is livegreatlives.com. And that will be, they also have like the first or second panel with like what's taking place, what's new. So that information will be there as well. On social, you can connect with me on Facebook. My name, Angela Harden Mack, and also LinkedIn, Angela Harden Mack. And then for IG, Twitter, and Clubhouse, it's Angela HM Speaks. I know sometimes I go on Twitter and people are like, I'm like, there's some really good stuff on Twitter. So look, if you haven't been
Really?
on Twitter or you're not, some really great stuff. It's not like you have to try to find, follow like 500 people, but when I say it's some really good content on Twitter, inspirational content, motivational content it is. So Angela HM Speaks, IG, Twitter, and Clubhouse.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have no reason not to be able to find this young lady. She is everywhere. I love that. And Twitter, I didn't think about Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I just did a TikTok, and everybody's they saying the same thing, like TikTok. I'm like, yes, I'm on TikTok. I'm always, posting little clips of my interviews and things of that nature. So, okay,
Yeah,
Twitter.
if I could say something that's real cool about Twitter, that's why I'm letting people know. I'm like, some good stuff is there. Are you familiar with Bell Collective? The show comes on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
No, see.
Bell Collective. Letitia Pearson is the organizer. She's the creator of the show. So if you haven't heard of that, I would say go take a look at it. It's called Bell Collective. It's a show about women of color, queens who are doing well in Jackson, Mississippi. They just had the second season. I met Letitia back in March at the Level Up Summit. And so they just launched the second one. Well, what she did, what was pretty cool with Twitter, she posted on her Facebook and some others. She said, hey, during the episode, I'll be on Twitter. Let's tweet, right? During the episode. So
Yes.
she's actually engaging with people. Like I said, so, just like all platforms, whether it's TikTok, whether it's some others, I think people are even looking at how can we continue to bring excitement and even use our social media platforms in ways that may be new and creative. So Letitia Pearson is on, Twitter. I'm on Twitter, some others. So who knows? You may see some other cool events like that where it's real time engagement. with
I
Twitter.
love that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, look, we can get on Twitter. It's all right. I
Hmm.
love that. That's amazing. That is awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all I ask that you do is just to share. Just share the videos, share the content, share, like, share, subscribe, and just follow my guests. And
Hmm.
that's it. I'm not asking you, to spend money because I know times, everybody's at different points in their lives right now. But
Hmm.
just to share, a like, and just word of mouth. Yeah, I saw Dr. Angela on Snails with No Shells. Let's get the word around because there are some amazing people doing amazing things. I just think more people should know. We should not get enough. We should never feel like, oh, we hear too much. People doing great things because we should hear that more. So I'm here for it. Like, share, subscribe. I'm on Instagram, Miss BJ Martin, Facebook, BJ Martin, TikTok, Miss BJ Martin. So, but I'm about to check out Twitter, definitely, definitely. And I'm on YouTube. So, yeah,
Hmm.
you can follow me as well. But again, Dr. Angela, thank you so much for spending your time with me and those Snails and No Shells. We loved every minute of it.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. It was
Yes,
great. It was phenomenal. Thank you. And I said I loved it too. Thank you. Thank
yes,
you.
yes, I'm honored. Thank you so much. All right, before I go, what I would like to say is remember, just like the sun, you are necessary. I love y'all.
Just my imagination, or is it just insanity?